According to Netflix, Leo is still one of the top 10 films on their streaming platform. Is it safe for you and your family? Hi, you're watching This, That, and Theology, equipping you to see your worldview in the world around you. The question that this film asks is, if you spent 75 years in the same classroom, would you have anything that is worth imparting to future generations? Adam Sandler's film Leo is about a lizard who has done just that. He's been the class pet in the 5th grade classroom for 74 years. And upon hearing from one of the parents that lizards only really live to be about 75, he's suddenly struck with the idea that he's wasted his life trapped in this cage. He needs to go to the Florida Everglades, and he needs to reconnect with who he really is. He needs to woo a young lady. He needs to hunt flies on his own, and he's feeling trapped in this cage. When the 5th grade teacher needs to take maternity leave after throwing up in the middle of class, the substitute teacher who replaces her wants to go back to the fundamental and traditional ways of being educated. No more laptops and iPads in the classroom, no more community groups. They're all going to sit facing forward with giant textbooks, and they're going to learn the old-fashioned way. One of those tasks that they return to is taking the class pet home for the weekend. At first, Leo and his tankmate Squirtle are afraid of this. They know from past experience that being taken home can be a rather dangerous adventure, but Leo jumps on this, seeing this as an opportunity to break free and experience life to its fullest. However, after he goes home that first weekend, he realizes that these kids need his help. Leo begins to help the students of this elementary school class one by one to understand that they are valued, that they are important, and really helps them with the problem that's keeping them from moving forward. I won't spoil most of this film because this is one that I think is fun and exciting to watch if you can get past the typical Adam Sandler bathroom humor.
Don't they eat, sleep, and poo in the same place?
Hey, I poo where he sleeps.
This is a film that tells us that kids are valuable and they need to be heard in order to be helped. There's nothing too surprising in the plot of this film. It's generally a good feel-good family film. You do need to worry about a lot of bathroom humor. This film is only rated PG, but it has a lot of jokes about bodily functions and a few about romance. You might have expected in a film, especially one released direct to streaming, that they would push the envelope on sexuality. None of these kids are portrayed in that way. None of them have a problem that has anything to do with gender identity or any of the very popular topics in at least our media today. This is a film for the family to enjoy together. And there's a message that's given throughout this entire film that's worth noting. Leo, in his 75 years, is not surprised by anything that comes through the door. In fact, as these students come in on that first day, they're able to recognize pretty quickly what their typical problems are. A kid who is a bully, a kid who's recently had to go through divorced parents, a child who's a firstborn and has no filter. Once Leo gets these kids by themselves each weekend, he listens to their problem, gives them a little bit of help, and because of that, they excel. There have been studies done in the classroom to see if our expectations have any kind of impact on the results. What we've discovered is that by and large, when children are expected to succeed, they do. When children are viewed negatively, they live up to those expectations. In other words, what we expect from our kids is often what we get. Every child in this class has some sort of issue that may impede their ability to succeed, not just academically, but socially. Every child that we see in this has difficulty interacting with the other students. But by better understanding themselves, better understanding their fellow students, they're able to get a community of students that makes you feel good about how the students end the story. The first student, for instance, at being an oldie child, never seems to stop talking. Leo's advice? Ask questions. Not just any question, but ask questions about them. Lo and behold, as soon as she starts doing that, the other kids start treating her differently. Now, as in with most film, you do have to take some of these results with a grain of salt, because every student implements those recommendations and every student has great results. I almost feel like there should be a warning at the end of the film saying your results may vary. But the messaging we have both towards parents and kids is important. Kids have value. They have issues that they need to go through, and it's different for everyone. No two children have the same things that are causing them anxiety, maybe even causing them difficulty in being able to succeed both academically and socially. Leo is not going to go down as one of the great children's films of the 21st century. In an environment when many films seem to be pushing a social agenda instead of actually trying to say something that's beneficial towards kids, and perhaps even abandoning storytelling entirely, Leo is a breath of fresh air. There are moments in this film where I was laughing out loud because the jokes were just that good. Sight gags were hilarious. The way they portray kindergartners is something you have to see for yourself. I encourage you to go ahead. If you have Netflix, watch this film. Watch this film with your family. Talk about each of the different kids. Who are your children reacting well with? And what do we as parents need to walk away with when we see this film? If this video has been helpful, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time right here on This, That, and Theology.
You made me feel like I could do anything.
This is gonna end badly.
This is a tough time, but these are the best years, believe me.
This is incredible!